Good. How are you?
Good to see you. Love the purple hair.
It's purple and green.
Oh my goodness, it is so much fun. How fun is that?
Feathers.
Look. Oh, yay. I love your style. It's so interesting and unique.
Yeah, I am unique.
Yeah. Oh, we all are. We're small business owners, especially as stylists. We have creative stuff going on. So we like to express that in how we look too, right? Oh, Missy, what state are you in right now? Where do you live?
I'm in California.
Okay, awesome. Great, great, great. Okay, let me just go over the few things that you had sent me in advance, ideas that you would like some coaching on, and then let me know if I got it right, and then we'll just break down each one, one little bite-sized part at a time. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Okay, so Missy is saying, one of my biggest challenges has always been raising my prices. I've had clients with me for almost 20 years. It's really hard to raise prices. I charge new clients more, but raising loyal clients has been difficult. Did I get that right?
You did. You did.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to add to that in like thoughts or feelings or past experiences?
I always tell people if I didn't have overhead and if I was independently wealthy, I wouldn't charge anybody, right? I might be a little more picky about who I have as my clients, but I wouldn't charge anybody. I love what I do. I don't see myself retiring. I don't see me completely stopping ever doing hair. I love what I do. So if I could afford to, I wouldn't charge anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the problem. Because I love it so much, it's hard to look at it as a job and not a passion. You know what I mean?
Totally understandable. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to interrupt you. Tell me if there's more thoughts on that.
No, that's the big thing. It's just like I love it so much. I almost feel guilty charging people to do their hair.
Because you love your job so much.
Right.
Great. So Missy, you're not alone. Inside my programs that I have, every single one of my students has the exact same, we'll call it issue.
Right.
I've had that issue before as well, but we have to remember we're running a business, we're paying bills, we're hiring a team, you know, whatever it is we're doing, we're not running a charity.
I understand. Yeah.
So because you love your job, I can imagine your dentist loves his job, your doctor loves her job, your you know, the person who owns the local grocery store loves their job, but they charge the pricing that they feel they deserve.
Right.
So I feel like when this topic comes up, it is so often, it's just reframing our mindset around our job, our career, our business being just that, a business, not a charity. So the great thing is, let's just say you started creating more income.
Okay.
Because you love your business so much, you could take that extra income and somehow give it back. Maybe one person a year you give a whole, or every quarter or at the holiday time, you give out a free makeover. You do their whole new look. So you know, I know you're nodding your head, these are things that you're thinking, but I just want to make sure to give you permission. Most people have the exact same thoughts that you do, and I have in the past. So I just want you to start thinking about things differently. You are a veteran stylist. You are fantastic. You're so put together. I know you're professional. I know you're book solid. You deserve to charge premium pricing. And I feel like I often am giving permission to other small business owners, specifically stylists, because that's mostly who I talk to. We have the right to charge our worth, one. We have the right to work the hours we want, not the hours our clients are asking us to. Right. And we have the right to work with clients that light us up only. No one's allowed in our chair that we don't adore.
Right.
And no one's allowed in our chair, you know, talking us into coming in our day off, or talking us into staying late, or talking us into, you know, whatever it is. This is my hours. These are my pricing. This is my pricing. And these are the type of clients that I take. And because you're a veteran stylist, and veteran could be over 3 or 4 years. I know you're a veteran stylist. You just, you of all people deserve to work with clients that light you up, work the schedule you want, and work and charge pricing you deserve. I've seen so many stylists work on Saturdays just because, oh, stylists work on Saturdays. I haven't worked on Saturdays in 3 years, and I love it. But my clients are perfectly happy. I mean, I do special events, wedding parties and special events. So those days I work. That's about 30 a year.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can create our own schedule, especially if we work for ourselves, which most people that come into my world, they work for themselves.
Right.
They just want to find a better version. And we're going to get into a few more things that you asked me about. But how does that feel, just with those few thoughts?
Well, I agree with the price increase. And when my husband passed away, actually part of his service was my friend saying, oh, by the way, Missy's going to raise her prices. You know, because my husband was always telling me, you need to raise your prices, you need to raise your prices, you know. But it's just, it's so hard for me because I love what I do. It's, you know, I always say I don't need to get rich, you know, I don't need to, and you know, this is all I do. I work 60 to 80 hours a week. I work 6 days a week. And, you know, I do self-care. I do massages and facials and nails and my hair and stuff like that. But this is my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't doing this, you know? And so
Right.
it's very difficult for me to charge more and work less. And they're kind of hand in hand too, you know. And I've always said I'd rather have my chair, not to be crude, I'd rather have butts in my chair all day long than have one or two clients and just kind of, that doesn't fulfill me, you know.
Finish that sentence. Have one or two clients that what?
That's all I have a day, you know. I'm used to having 5 to 12 clients a day. You know, just butts in my chair, butts in my chair, butts in my chair. I love doing what I do. And I just think I would be bored if I didn't have that all day long.
I love another creative, another passionate entrepreneur, especially someone in the hair world, in the beauty world, because it's never ending of just the possibilities. So
right.
let me just say something. I just want you to think about this. I'll call it a limiting belief. So you could call it what you want, and this is just something to think about. It's food for thought. Because I love my job so much that I don't feel like I should charge so much, I believe that's a limiting belief that somewhere along the way, someone told you or you told you, and you're bringing it into this portion of your life right now. Mm-hmm. Because that's why it's being brought up. And I just want you to think about that. Is that a limiting belief? Where did I get it from? And why do I feel that way? By no means, you don't have to say it right now, but just think about that. Okay. Because because we're talented and we love our job does not mean that we shouldn't charge premium pricing. So I literally have worked with students inside my program who have said the same thing. And within the program's 9 weeks group implementation program, within 3 or 4 weeks, they're already making more money.
Wow.
Why? They just changed their mindset and they started charging more.
Right.
So I was just coaching. I did a group coaching inside the program with one of my students. She has something else she wants to launch in her business. She needs to raise her prices with the clients that she's doing. She's not a hairstylist. She's a service-based business owner.
Okay.
And I said, do it for that next goal that you have. You have to raise your prices because you're never going to get to that next goal because you won't be able to build out your team without that extra chunk of money. Or you're going to do it all yourself and your goal is going to take 3 years instead of 4 months.
Sure.
So I would say, before I move on, maybe get some clarity around what are your goals. We don't want to just wake up in the morning, go to work, come home, do the same thing over and over.
Right.
But what are the goals? I'm not saying it has to be retired. Maybe it's I don't know what it could be, but what are some goals that you have? And again, you don't have to say this now. I just want you to think about this. So it gets you to either changing something. It sounds like you're doing this, you're round and round and round and round. There's no changes, which you're not necessarily dissatisfied with, but then we're addressing this idea and then a few other ideas, which one of them says, I love what I do, but I want more, which we'll get into. But we have to change, we have to slow down and start thinking about our mind thinking differently to change anything. So a lot of styles, again, I used to work 6 hours a week behind the chair. I don't do that anymore. I work about 20 hours a week behind the chair. I love it. But guess what? I have found ways, and again, I teach this in my program, but we're touching on it now, to express my creativity that's in my head and in my heart out in, for example, how I create reels or TikToks or how I, create my social media posts or whatever it is. So I have found ways to make more income, work smarter, not harder, and feel completely creatively fulfilled. So I just want to invite you to think about however you've been thinking about things differently.
Okay.
How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So one thing, I mean, this might help you out. I don't know if it will or won't, but I have it in my notes. So I'm going to address it. We'll just stick on this point one more time. I have a freebie. It's a downloadable, but I'm going to go over it real quick. 5 secrets to attract high-paying clients. These are the 5, just to break them down quickly. Be 100% professional 100% of the time. I believe that you are doing that. Show your expertise online, which we'll talk about in a little bit because I know you want to get better at Instagram.
Right.
Third, talk your ICA's language, ideal customer avatar or ideal client, when she's in your chair and when you're marketing yourself online. We'll get into that a little bit. Number 4, make her feel special when she's not in your chair.
Okay.
A follow-up text. Hey, Stephanie, how do you like the hair makeover? I hope your husband got a new job, or whatever it is. Okay. And number 5, just do it. You deserve it. Those are, in a nutshell, the 5 secrets to attract high-paying clients. And I can share the freebie, the downloadable freebie with you. I'll share it in this group here when we're off this call. And there's more detail. But I think if those 5 things, if you're doing those things, there's no reason you shouldn't be charging whatever the premium pricing is for you.
Okay.
How's that sound?
That sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
I always like a little bit of accountability, and maybe this is being a little aggressive, but I'm going to put it out there anyway, and then you can just say what you want.
Okay.
Is there a time that you can work on or actually raise your prices? Like, could you think off the top of your head? If you can't, that's fine. Like, you know what? January 1st, fine. I'm going to raise my prices. Is there a time just so I can reach back out to you and just like, hey, Missy, how's it going? How are your clients responding to it? How did you let them know? Like, can you give me anything? Because I like to hold people accountable. If you can't, you're like, nah, I'm not sure. Come back in this group and post about it when you decide you've made a decision of when you would do it.
January 1st is a good time to do that. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. So January 1st, woohoo. Will you come back in this group and just say, I raised my prices? Let us know. Okay, cool. Okay, here's the next thing that you talked about or asked about. I love what I do, and if I was independently wealthy, I wouldn't charge anything. Having that being said, I'm not wealthy. I have quite a large overhead. I have 2 locations and lots of products. So are these feelings and thoughts overwhelm? Is that what's going on there? Or what's the feelings on 2 locations, lots of product? What does that mean when you say that?
It just means I have a large overhead. It goes in with raising prices. It's kind of like part 2 of why I need to raise prices. Not just for me, but because I have a large overhead, because I've got people to pay. I've got, things to do. Hold on, my lights are going out. And stuff. Did it get better? Yeah. Sorry.
No worries.
So I do have a large overhead. So I have to make a certain amount just to, make everything, just to pay everything.
Keep the lights on.
Right. The lights on, basically. Yeah, they're timed though. So it's just one of those things that because I have so much, I have to work so hard and keep people in the chair and, stuff like that. So it's part 2 of why I need to raise prices, but I can't raise prices. That's
all under the same bubble. Got it. Okay, well, so in January, then you're going to raise them and things will be a little easier. You'll get a little bit more leeway to maybe work you said you work 60 hours a week with clients, maybe work 55 hours a week with clients and still pay the bills. Most people that raise their prices, again, people that I coach like this or people that go through my programs, the clients are so supportive.
Yeah.
So I doubt, because you're probably an amazing stylist, you're so professional, you're booked all the time. If you raise your prices slightly, they're not going to have an issue with it.
Right.
Now, if you do lose a few, you lose a few. It is what it is. It's part of being a business owner.
Right.
But I feel like if you really just amp up the value you're giving them, not when they're in your chair. I'm not talking about that. I never coach people on what they do in the chair because I assume and mostly know that everyone's doing a great job with the people in their chair. But what are we doing when they're not in our chair? How are we making them feel special? How are we showing up online to show our expertise without saying, I'm amazing and so knowledgeable? No, you don't even need to say that. You could do a quick little video or a picture or whatever. We'll get into some of that. But those are the things I want you to think about regarding pricing increasing. Okay, cool. Yay. Okay, so the next thing, so that was that. And then you said, I also believe that more people in my chair the more referrals, etc. I have a client base of over 400 people. So do you believe in more quantity over quality, or do you feel like you want to work smarter, not harder? I kind of feel like we're going back to like some of the same things. Is there anything in there that you want to add more to, like in regards to, you have all these people and you're getting referrals, but is that the ideal situation for you, do you feel like?
I do right now. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. And especially if I raise prices, you know, because like I said, for my new people, I charge the correct pricing. It's just for my people who've been with me for, you know, 15 plus years, 10 years, whatever. It's really hard for me to kind of bump them up. Just because I appreciate their loyalty, you know, and I didn't mention this, but every year I do like 400, 500 holiday bags.
Yeah.
So that's one way that I boost my retail is I do holiday bags every year in the month of December. So if you come in December, you get a holiday bag. And then January and February, my retail is like through the roof. It's crazy because
Awesome.
I love it all, right?
Yes.
But I give a lot to my clients. That's just who I am. I give them a lot of time, a lot of effort, excellent service, you know, the whole bit. I'm clean, you know, the whole bit. So it's just, yeah, it's more of, you know, the new people I'm good with because I bring them in at the right price. It's just
Yeah.
my people have been with me a long time. So it kind of goes back to this pricing thing again.
Right.
You know, but that's all.
Okay, at least it's good. It's only one thing we're working on, really. There's other questions that we'll still get into, but it really comes back to the one thing. So really, there's just one thing to work on so far. My question is, when was the last time you raised the prices on the oldie but goodies, the loyal ones?
I think not last year, but the year before.
Okay.
So before the pandemic started, I did a little bump.
Great. And did you, you know, when you say raise prices, is it like 20% or is it like just a small incremental, like $5 raise or $5 increase? Do you do a chunk or do you do a little bit?
So I did a little bit. I went through and looked at every client individually. Some were already on like the newer rates, and so they were fine. But others, you know, I raised them $5. Some people were paying way under, so I raised them $20. So everybody was different depending on how much they were paying, how often they come in, and you know how long they've been my client. So I looked at each individual client when I did my raising.
Right. In an ideal situation, would everybody be paying the same price, or do you like, or, no?
No, because not everybody same hair, you know. Some people take 5 ounces of color. Some people take half an ounce of color, you know.
So you charge on the product you use, not the time you spend.
Sort of both, because if you have more hair, I'm going to spend more time, right? Your blow dry takes longer. It takes more tools. You know, I'm using a round brush and a flat brush, you know. It's that kind of thing. I have to condition more. I have to use more product.
Fair.
Shampoo. There's just more mass to deal with, if you will.
That makes sense. It also makes your job a little bit more time consuming because there's so many different things.
Right. Right.
And if that doesn't bother you, that's fine. But I would love to see you have like more systems in place. So it's not so much manual, this. It's more simplified across the board. So eventually, if you hire someone to help you, and you might have this, like maybe check clients out, maybe, you know, book the clients, whatever it is. If it's all over the place, it's hard to teach someone else how your system is when they come in and help you out. So maybe you still take the same amount of people, but then you have someone to help you book the appointments, put the formula in, so there's no systems. So everyone, I understand where we're going with that, but maybe, again, food for thought, could there only be 2 pricing for like a color or whatever it is? So it's not all over the place depending on the client, because I can promise you, if you go to your dentist, they don't charge you, who takes care of their teeth and flosses them and brushes them and comes every 6 months, any less than they charge the person that comes once every 4 years that has a bunch of cleaning, a bunch of tartar. They're not going to say to them, you have a ton of tartar and now we have to like clean you more aggressively because you don't take care of your teeth. They charge the standard price. So I feel like a lot of creatives have this, I guess I'll call it skewed, whatever you want to call it, like creative way of charging, but then it makes it no systems in place. It's like all over the place. So now what if your client Stephanie, who has shorter hair and it's $50, sends her client Jessica, who has shoulder length hair and it's $60? Then, you know, if it's all referrals, there needs to be some consistency.
Right.
One, to just make your job easier, and two, it's only fair. If you go to the dentist or the doctor, they charge the same pricing. I like to teach other stylists or small business owners, especially in the creative world, compare yourself to a dentist or a doctor regarding pricing, regarding cancellation, regarding, you know, hourly rate. My theory on pricing is it should be what your hourly rate is worth to you, not the 1 ounce or the 4 ounce of color that you use. If it's short pixie cut, it wants highlights, that takes a long time, just like it does for long hair. So it should be, the pricing should be, again, food for thought. This is my theory on it, and my opinion on your time. If you're worth $200 an hour, whatever that time frame takes you in an hour, it's $200. And that's how you do the pricing, instead of having all these different like layers to it and tiers. How does that sound?
That makes a lot of sense. The dentist was a good example.
Yeah.
Because I've had 17 teeth removed. So I don't have as many teeth as most people do. And I have a very small mouth, like a child. They have to use the kid stuff on me because I have a really small mouth. A lot comes out of it, but it's very small.
So they only have half the teeth to clean on you.
Right. So that's really interesting because they don't charge me less because I have less teeth and I have a small mouth. You're absolutely right. They charge me the same amount as they do someone with all of their teeth.
Right.
So
I believe this thought process, again, I think that I'll call it a limiting belief, you can call it what you want. Someone along the line told you this, it worked for you then.
Right.
It's not really working for you now. We grow, we evolve as business owners, and just as we grow in life, from 30 to 40 years old, we have different thoughts. So I always, again, teach my students inside my program, what got you here won't get you there. Whatever you've been doing thus far has gotten you here. But if you want to grow your online presence, whatever, we'll get into that. Have more money in the bank so you can pay your overhead, not so stressed out. You want to have more time off, hire a team. We have to think about things differently to go to the next level. Most things, and I have had hundreds of students go through my program, it's here. It has nothing to do with them being a talented stylist, you know, able to communicate with people in their chair, knowledge. It's none of that. It's all here. It's all mindset. It's all limiting beliefs.
Right. That totally makes sense. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Okay, great. One thing I wanted to talk to you about in regards to I call it the 90-90 rule. Do you believe 90% of your products buy 90% of your 90% of your clients buy 90% of your products and services?
Yeah.
Okay. So you offer, let's just say, a color cut, keratin treatments, and perms, let's say. And you sell shampoo and conditioner.
Right.
Would you say that 90% of your clients get all that? They buy the product, they get all the services?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because the other thing I was going to suggest is most often I hear other stylists. I live in a big city and near a few hospitals, so I apologize about the siren. If I put my microphone on, it almost makes it worse. That's why I don't wear a microphone. And most stylists are doing, let's say, color and cut. They're doing 2 of their 4 services. The clients don't even know about the other services, and they don't know about the retail product. And I think you're in a different situation. But it's our job to educate them on what else we'd recommend for their hair. Let's say a keratin treatment, let's say a shampoo, let's say a root lifting spray. And that all comes down to the way you market yourself. When the client's in your chair, but you can't possibly tell all of your clients every time they're in your chair about all of your other services and products. So the way to market that is online. And we're going to get into the Instagram strategy, but emails to your clients, permission based, getting your website, I call it right and tight, but having all that information on there, showing up online, even if it's just on Instagram, 3-4 times a week. Make sure your clients are following you. We'll get into that in a minute, but the way to upsell to your current clients and make their life better, happier, easier, and you make more money with working smarter, not harder, is to get 90% of those clients to buy 90% of your products and services. And if you have a whole retail section, then you know they should leave every time with products, whether it's shampoo, conditioner, hairspray, styling serum, leave-in conditioner, whatever it is.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. Okay, so then you said, and then the next thing you said was, I'm a successful stylist, but I want more. I love that
Yep.
about you. Can you please define more and what that looks like to you?
I want world domination, basically.
I love it.
You know, I have 2 locations for a reason.
Mhm.
What I love to do is kind of like you. I like to bring in, you know, junior stylists or recently graduated stylists and help them build their business and then expand. And I want more locations. I'm in a solo salons, so
Yep.
it's a salon suite. I've
Right.
got one in 2 cities close by, like 20 minutes away. Um, and I want to continue to grow. I want
Right.
my business, Beauty by Us, to continue when I'm retired, when I'm dead, whatever. I want to leave a legacy.
Amen. Love.
So I don't want it to just die with me or retire with me. I don't want my clients to feel like, well, Missy's dead, so you know she got hit by a bus, so I guess I have to find someone else. I want my clients to feel like, you know, Sally is trained by Missy. She knows the deal. She studied under her for 2 years. I trust Sally with my hair.
Love it.
And I want to expand and get another location and expand and get another location and bring up these girls and kind of elevate our industry
Love it.
one at a time, you know?
I love everything about that. I love that you're clear. Let me ask you this on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am going to get this done, 1 being I don't know if I want to put the effort in. Where are you at in regards to wanting to make this a very important goal you're working on in the near future?
9.5.
Great.
Yeah.
How much time do you think you need in a ballpark to create this goal or this lifestyle or this growth?
That I don't know.
Do you think you can do it working with 60 hours, standing 60 hours behind the chair and doing this?
No.
Okay,
No.
great. So do you think if you worked, let's say 40 hours a week behind the chair, you'd have an extra 20 hours a week? That's a
Yep.
huge, that's a part-time job to be able to have this world domination?
Yes.
Okay, great, awesome. So the idea is they have the clear goal, then it is up there. It's a 9.5. So it's not like a 2, 3, 4, or 5. It's important to you. This is
Right.
maybe a 5 or 10-year goal. I'm throwing a number out there.
Yeah.
So what I encounter with people that are coming into my world like this, coaching or in my program, we are multi-passionate entrepreneurs. So
Yes.
I'll give myself an example. Behind the chair doing hair all day, every day is boring to me. I like it about 20 hours a week. So I incorporate my love for passion. I do wardrobe editing. I sell wigs. I sell accessories to my clients. So I sell clip and extensions. So I was able to upsell to my clients. It made it more fun for me. I wasn't standing all this time. My goals were clear and I knew I couldn't do it working with clients 60 hours a week. So I eventually dwindled it down to 20 hours a week. And now I create online programs and I help people all over the states and the world, all that stuff. I love it. So I get your big picture thinking. Now we need to implement, and not even implement. That's still down the road. Now we need time. We need a day off completely from doing hair, completely from laundry and errands to start planning this big dream of yours. It's not going to happen. I don't even think it's going to happen 40 hours a week behind the chair. Your hours need to cut back significantly for you to be able to get to this goal. Now, maybe this goal is 10 years down the road. Maybe you don't want it anytime in the near future. But if you do, then we'll go back to prices need to be increased. Hours need to be cut. What got you here won't get you there. Things need to change. And it's up to you to decide when, where, and how you want it to change. It's not going to come up. You're not going to come up with it right now. But these are things we start thinking about so we can get to this big picture, this end goal. You can have both. You can have 5 locations, stand behind the chair, have world domination, help these stylists, help your clients. This is awesome. You have this passion and these dreams and goals. We just need to step back and start strategizing and implementing them.
Makes sense.
Or coming up with a game plan, if anything. We'll start there.
Right. No, it makes sense.
So maybe when you raise your prices in January, then you could also, I don't know what days you work. Let's say you work Monday through Saturday. In January, you're taking, I'm throwing this out there, something to think about. You're taking Saturdays off and you're raising your prices. That's it.
Right.
So then you can slow down and start to think about it and really spend time on this big goal.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. That sounds cool too.
Doable too, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
For
cool.
sure.
Okay. I can't wait till you come back, Missy, and tell me, Gina, I got 5 locations, I got 25 styles for me. I know you're going places. You got the brains and the hard work, and you got it all. I don't doubt that you can achieve your goals.
Thanks.
You're very driven. So
I
this
am.
is good. You have everything in place. You just need to slow down a little bit and then come up with a game plan.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So far, so good. I have 2 more things I'm going to address. How's this training on a scale of 1 to 10? I always do this to my students. 10, this is resonating with me. This is feeling good. It's my groove. 1, eh.
No, I'm at like an 8 or a 9. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's really good. And it's stuff I know, but it's stuff I need to hear over and over again. And, you know, I'm not being selfish, you know, because that's huge for me. I never want to feel like I'm taking advantage or being selfish. You know, it's reasonable. You know, like some people, you know, I don't know. I feel like some people, like after the pandemic, they like raised their prices across the board $20, and I was just like, why? And there was a Facebook group, and they were talking about that, how, you know, people were asking, how much have you raised your prices for cleaning? And I'm like, that's stuff we should have been doing already. I got the list from State Board, our California State Board of Barbering and Cosmetology, about what to do with the pandemic. And I went through the checklist and I did everything already.
Yeah.
So
Great.
those standards were already there with me.
Great.
So why would I need to raise prices just because I'm cleaning now? I should have been doing it before, you know?
Yes.
And so that stuff doesn't make sense to me. So, you know, having permission that, you know, yes, I can raise my prices. Yes, I can take another day off or whatever. And it's not selfish and it's nobody's going to die, you know?
So true.
You know how it is. It's like I got a call today from someone that wanted to come in at 11 o'clock today for a haircut. I'm like, okay. She called 4 times in 2 hours, just kept calling back. And I'm like, hey, like, seriously, it's a haircut. Come on. And I don't even know her. She's a new client.
Got brain surgery. And that's not your hours. You don't work at 11 a.m.
Well, no, I was already busy. I already had 2 people here. Yeah. So it's not a problem. The time wasn't a problem. The problem was it's today. Yeah. And then how about tomorrow? Well, tomorrow I'm booked too. I mean, I'm booked weeks in advance. So, you know, I can usually sneak in someone here or there, but not like at 11 o'clock on, you know, this day. I'm just like, if you tell me, hey, I need to come in the next couple of days, what do you have? I can get you in. But when you say 11 o'clock on, you know, today or tomorrow, I'm like, no, I'm not just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. And it's Monday. Most stylists don't work Monday. I at least am working, you know.
She is not a regular client, correct?
No, brand new.
If your normal client wouldn't do that, they know that that's not how you roll. Yeah. So you just need a teacher. You say, I'll get you in, like, as you know, in 2 weeks from now, I have availability. Next time, I need a 48 hours heads up or whatever. But I just want to make sure you hear from someone. I need to tell you, Missy, you are generous. You are giving your all. You don't need to give any more.
Thank you.
You know, this is permission for you to worry about Missy right now.
Thank you.
And worrying about Missy means raising prices, taking a day off, figuring out how you're going to dominate the world, you know, and having some downtime or whatever it is that you want. That I feel like you have more creativity in you, and it's really only happening behind the chair right now because there's no time for anything else.
Right. No, you're right about that. Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like you can give so much more if you could get into a system and a strategy, which would be down the road, of showing your expertise and your amazingness and your personal personality and your personal story about your husband, things like that online. Like, you're so influential, and I like that it's with the people in your chair. But I feel like the issue is, and I understand this 100% because it's exactly how I felt. I want to influence more. I want to be more impactful. Right. So, okay, cool. Let me. Does that? Can I move on? Does that feel okay?
Please do. Yeah, please
okay,
do.
Cool. Awesome. So the last 2 things you have are 2 ideas or thoughts or, you know, whatever, problems, roadblocks. As far as advertising and online presence goes, I have a lackluster profile. However, when people ask for hairstyles on Nextdoor or Facebook, my clients, several of them will recommend me. I belong to networking groups for the last 8 years, and my clients, fellow networkers, and friends are always shouting me out or providing me referrals. So what's considered lackluster online presence, and what would be ideal to you?
So my website sucks. Site that got designed, 8, 10 years ago. I don't know in our industry how important a website is. I feel like Instagram is more important. I feel like TikTok is more important. And I feel for like my client age, I feel like Facebook is more important. So it depends on which age group you're targeting.
Yep.
Younger kids like the Instagram and TikTok, the older people like me like Facebook.
Yep.
I think that's actually more important than a website. But a website is always, I think it's just stuck in my head. Like I have to have an amazing website. And I'm like, but I'm not a website-based business. I don't know how important that is. So the website right now, it just sits empty. I was doing SEO stuff, search engine optimization, and I kind of beefed up the website, but not really. But it's just one of those things that just nags me in the back of my brain. And I'm like, oh, should I even deal with it? Or is before and afters enough on online social media stuff? You know what I mean?
Great questions. I have so many thoughts about all of that, but I would like to answer your specific question, which was, well, I believe your website is your online storefront. And I believe as you start changing your business and growing, which I believe you're at the cusp of, I think you're right here. Your website will be more important than ever.
Okay.
So just on this, that's a step. I feel it's that important in my program. It's 9 weeks long. It's one module is dedicated to the website. Now, not the tech part, just what should be on there. So what things to put in order. So when your ideal client comes there to your website, they say, yes, I want to buy. Yes, I want to book. I want to read her blog. So I feel like it's something that you're aware of, but how the heck do we go about implementing? Or where do we start? So if you feel like most of your ideal clients are on Facebook, then let's just start there. And let me pause that. Your last idea is, because this can clump together, you said my goal is to use Instagram more, but I can't seem to find the time. I also want to get back into sending thank you and birthday cards, but I'm limited on time. So it's just the Instagram part. So let's just say you feel your ideal client is on Facebook. So then why don't we just start there? Okay. You maybe like Instagram, you feel like you should be on it, but you feel like your ideal client is on Facebook, correct?
I'd say the older ones, yes. So my bread and butter is
let's start on Facebook. Let's start the strategy on Facebook. And then you decide when you want to start implementing how you want to do it. I'll just give you ideas and suggestions, and you can figure it out. Now, this video will be saved in this group, so come back and watch it. Just you can't soak it all in, okay? So let's say it's Facebook. My first question to you is, when your client is in your chair, what's the percentage of your clients that are in your chair do you believe are following you on Facebook? Any clue?
I'd say probably 75 to 85%.
Fantastic. So this strategy will work beautifully. So what I'd recommend is, I always, again, teach my students, if you don't plan ahead, then you fail. It's plan to fail. So I teach them on Sunday, look at your books for the week. Maybe even see who's your Facebook friend. Whoever isn't, make a little note, like a check mark, star, however you want to do it. When they're in your chair, before they leave, you're ideally taking some before and afters, just be like, hey, Jennifer, I noticed we weren't Facebook friends. Are you on Facebook? Great. Yes. Follow them right there. Have them follow you. Before they leave, create a 5-minute buffer. So then you got everyone in your books on Facebook. In the meantime, I want you to think about what you would want to post on social. Like you share before and after, as you had said, correct? Right. Is there anything else? Is there any other strategy behind? Is there anything else you share that's a strategy about your business aside from like before and afters?
Well, we'll do like promos for holiday gifts. We'll do like, hey, we got a new line of shampoos and conditioners, and do a little blurb about that. but I mean, I've got thousands of before and afters in my phone. They're not all on Insta. That's the thing. And younger kids or Facebook, younger kids are all like, "Oh, I want to see your work. Send me your Insta." And I'm like, okay, but not everything's on there, you know. And I've got a business profile on Instagram, and I've got a personal profile. I end up just putting stuff on the personal because it's easier, but I don't even do that very often. So it's one of those things where I just need to sit down and go through my phone and start downloading the information, you know.
Okay.
And if I'm going to do it to one, I could do it to the other too. I could do Facebook and Insta and just have them both on there, you
On
know.
your phone? On your phone?
I could do both at the same time, Instagram and Facebook.
You mean sharing?
Yes. So I mean, that's not hard. And I've got it's just sitting down and doing it. Like, what do you say and who do you tag? What do you tag and the hashtags? And it's just that part is overwhelming to me.
Fair. I have a podcast. I can think of 3 podcasts off the top of my head. I talk so much about social media presence, strategies, hashtags for hairstylists. I'll send you a private message. I'll send it to you on text. Exactly a few to listen to. I have 80 podcast episodes just to help out stylists, mostly on social, but not all social. Some are collecting surveys. Some are, you know, organization, but it's stylist and service-based business owners. I can think of a few off the top of my head that I know will help you out. They're all under 10 minutes. So when you're driving to work, putting your makeup on, cleaning the salon, start listening to them. I promise they'll help you out. Promise. But with that being said, one thing to keep in mind, so we're going to start somewhere. We're either going to, so let's say that your 2 platforms are going to be Facebook and Instagram, correct? Because Facebook, you know, the older clientele is on, and Instagram, you know that the younger ones are asking you for the link, the handle. So what I would recommend to keep your life easier, this is what I do. I'm practice, whatever I do, I practice. I'm on social, 13 different platforms, 6 to 7 days a week. However, I have a strategy. And again, I teach that in my podcast. I really talk about a lot of that in there. But I would merge. Don't have them separate. Make your life easier, especially on Instagram. Let's say, if you're going to post 5 days a week, once every 5 posts, post about something personal.
Okay.
And the other things are going to be stuff like before and afters, how you organize your day, promos that are out there, testimonials. What's a hobby of yours outside of doing hair? What's one thing?
I like to color.
Like on paper?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Like yeah. The color, adult color.
Great. Awesome. I love that. Do your clients know about that? Do you think?
Some of them. I also cross stitch, but I don't do that often either. I don't have time, you know.
So that's another thing you could share. We want to talk about before and afters, but when someone goes to your account, they can see 10 pictures of your work. They don't need to see any more.
Right.
They see you're good. They want to know, I can book with any other stylist in the area. Why would I book with Missy? So the marketing material that you're using online, again, whether it's your website, blogging, Insta, Facebook, is you providing value and you sharing who you are, who Missy is, to build the know, like, and trust. The promotions are great. That's informative. We want to provide value to people following us. Value would be, here's a before and after. But not only is it a before and after, but it's also a thought process behind the before and after. It's it took me a year to convince her to go from blonde to purple. It's here's the before and after, and this is what she texted me with the next day. She was so happy with her color. You tag the client. So it's not just, so I want you to come up with a handful of topics. I say 7, because I like people to post 7 days a week. You can look at any of them. Again, you're going to see stuff on the podcast. You'll get tons of info, but come up with caption categories and then decide what platforms you're posting on and what days a week. And the most important thing is time blocking. So this is a new thing you want to bring into your busy schedule where you're working 60 hours a week, which I would recommend doing this. You got to figure out what day and what time am I going to work on this every week? Is it Monday from 8 to noon? Is it Saturday from 4 to 8? So then you have to put that in your schedule and take the time off from clients and take the time off from your stuff you're doing with your friends and whatever you do on your time off to work on that. So that's why I'm strongly encouraging you to cut back on these hours so Missy can think about what the heck she wants to do. One of the great ways are to show up online that creates clarity. I call it the 4 C's. You have to have the courage to show up online because a lot of people are nervous and scared, and I don't blame them. You have to have the consistency. Then that creates clarity, and that creates courage. That courage part will get you to your next step in your business, your next goal forward. But you, again, have to have time to create content. You have to have time to show up. You have to have time to engage, all this stuff. So this is going to take a little bit implementing, but it's not that hard once you get a system in place.
Okay.
So, in one other side thing I'll say, because I don't want to give you all this, I could talk about this for 3 hours straight, but the podcast links will help you. You don't want to share. You don't want to share from Instagram to Facebook. Facebook is its own platform. Instagram is its own platform. TikTok is its own platform. LinkedIn is its own platform. You want to respect the platform's way of doing things.
Okay.
So you don't want to share Instagram with hashtags and tagging and all that on Facebook. Have it 2 separate posts. Create one set of content, whatever it is, before and after pictures of Stephanie, your favorite client. Put it on Instagram. Take the same picture, verbiage, take out the hashtags, take out the @ signs, tag your client if you can. She lets you. Put that on Facebook. So you want to be native. Like, you wouldn't have certain conversations with one of your clients who's 6 years old. It'd be quite different than a 22-year-old client, right? So you don't want to have a conversation on Facebook that you have on Instagram and vice versa. That's just one general rule of thumb. I wouldn't share it. It takes 5 extra seconds to actually create the post to customize it for. You can look at my accounts. I literally will post something on Instagram. I posted on Facebook 3 days ago. I changed the words. The link is different, all that stuff. So it's a way of repurposing, but being respectful of the platform that you're repurposing on.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, cool. How do you feel, Missy?
Good. Good. Yeah, this is all good stuff. Yeah, I appreciate your time. It was really good.
You're welcome. Any follow-up questions that you can think of?
No, not right now.
Okay, so you have to promise me at least listen to one of the podcasts. I'll send you a link. And then come back in here and let us know your progress. What things are changing? This is a private group. There's all stylists and small business owners. So I always encourage other people in the group, when you share, talk in this video when we're done, and come back and tell us what's going on in your business, what you changed, what happened. Other people can see it and they're inspired. So you're changing the world. We're changing the world together, specifically in the hair world with other small business owners. So this is good to have this conversation. Now other people can watch this video and hopefully get inspired and start implementing. And this is exactly how it goes. We pay it forward, but we're running businesses, we're changing lives, and we're creating significant income in the meantime. Right.
That makes sense.
Yay. I'm so happy for you. Thank you for coming live. You're so great on camera. I don't know if you do this at all, but your marketing material needs to be you on camera. You look great. You speak so clearly. So many people do not want to come on camera or promote themselves on camera, but I would recommend start doing lives on your Facebook. Just go live, talk about your day, what you're doing, maybe interview a client, just walking into work. I got blah, blah, blah. You're awesome on camera. I would work on that. I would have that be your top priority of how you're showing up.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, girl. Awesome.
Used to it. So.
Lots of marching orders. So fun. Okay. Thank you so much, Missy. Have a lovely evening. And I can't wait to hear about all your progress and success.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Bye, Missy.